Hi, welcome to Lowkey Loud, a place where we have unfiltered conversations. My name is Natalie.
And my name is Leslie, and we're glad that you're joining us here today.
Okay, so tell me, like, when you think about social media, like, what do you think about? What do you feel?
Oh my gosh, I don't even know. When I think about social media, I don't really think about anything because I hardly use it.
You think about like Bebo sending memes or something?
Yeah. Mm,
You guys sending a bunch of funny stuff in the chat, or no?
I don't even consider that social media. I just consider that us doing us.
Because
Kind
we're
of
just
like,
messaging.
yeah, like, since it's just, I guess that was the purpose of social media at first, just to message people and just
Yeah.
post a couple of things. And now social media has gotten out of control.
Well, yeah. Now it's about showing off. It feels
Yeah, it's
or proving something. I don't know.
yeah, it's not wholesome.
Yeah.
It's not about like real moments anymore, or maybe it never really was. I don't know, but
Well, I think that it might have been for some time there when when people were just kind of like going out and taking like 200 pictures because they
yeah,
just did not care what anything looked like or anybody thought. Like, yeah, people obviously beauty standards and all that has been a thing forever, but I feel like it wasn't so like in our face. Like it was in our face when you went to watch TV or if you like saw like a magazine. Now it's like we carry it in our pockets at all
yeah,
times.
and it's often the first thing that people wake up to.
Yeah.
So you're constantly seeing it, and that's why I guess yeah, when I think about social media, I my thoughts just I guess like a not really a thought, it's more of a feeling of avoidance because I don't really connect to it.
Yeah, I get that. I feel like for me, when I think of it, I think about like a struggle between like wanting to share things, but then also the contributing to like people being on their phones too much. Like
Mm-hmm.
when I think about social media, I think about that struggle because that's something that I've struggled with for years. I wanted to make videos. I've been wanting to make videos for over 10 years at this point, and that's been one of the things that has definitely held me back when I think about social media. It's not wanting to be a contributor to people being addicted, but I understand that that's not my responsibility to handle everyone's screen time. That is up to the individual.
Yeah, yeah, I want to use social media for sending funny things, and I no longer share so much, but I would like to share the good moments without it
Yeah,
feeling like I'm bragging. I don't want it to be like a highlight. What is it that they
a
call
highlight
it?
reel.
Yeah, like I don't want it to be only the good stuff, but I don't want it to be just bad stuff. So because I haven't found a balance, I kind of just have had it sitting there, and I only really use it to message the people that I love, and it's pretty much you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel the same way. I haven't really been posting in the last couple of years. I feel like I've had a few posts here and there, but it's not something that I've been very actively engaged in. But it's just because I've realized that when I spend too much time on my phone and on social media, then I feel worse. Like my mental health can take like a turn for the negative if I don't manage my screen time. Um, which mostly gets out of control for me with TikTok. That's the
Mm.
culprit, which is why I can't have TikTok downloaded on my phone. But you see, that's me taking accountability because I understand that TikTok is highly addictive. They are very good. That algorithm is on point. I will give them that. Like they can keep me there forever if they wanted to because they'll just keep feeding me cat videos, cat videos or cute animals or something. And I'll just scroll forever. But yeah, I feel like I've definitely had I don't know. I've had like a good and a bad relationship with social media. I feel like in the beginning it was easier and like it felt more fun to just kind of like share what you did for the night and share a random quote from a song. It was just all it felt more light,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like less serious. Now it just feels like everyone is just competing and trying to show that they have the best life or something.
Yeah. And everything has also like rolled into social media. Like social media is not only about just the people that you have there. Like now, trends start there, and like
Yeah.
politics stuff has like spilled into it, and it's just social media has kind of isn't to me. It's supposed to be a tool. Like to connect with people or to market your business or something. But
Yeah.
now it's just become so much more than that. And I guess that's why it's so much harder to connect to social media, because it's an environment, like a digital environment, where people spend all their time in, and I can't relate to that because that's just too much
Yeah.
to try to do that. And I've seen some of the people who I used to be friends with do that, and to me that seems exhausting to
Yeah.
constantly be posting. And I also feel like for a little bit of time I was feeling that kind of pressure on myself, like having to constantly post something to be relevant, to be like
Mhm.
on people's feeds or something. But now I'm like, I don't really want to care about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of wish that there was a social media that was only for people that you actually know.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that that's how Facebook started, but that's not like, and yeah, I only have people I know on Facebook. But now it's obviously like Facebook is trash. Like, let's just be honest. Like, Facebook is trash. Instagram at this point is pretty trash. I
Yeah.
mean, I literally have to have all of you guys on my favorites. So that way, if you guys post anything, it'll come up at the top, because if not, you'll literally be just mixed in with a sea of never ending ads. And it's like you just can't run away from it. And it's just feels like overwhelming. And I wish that there was like a simpler place where I can just interact with just like the people that I actually know and care about, and which is what we do through messages.
Yeah.
But it's just they get lost, obviously, in the threads of
Yeah.
like everything that gets sent. So I just wish that there was like a place where like we can post things, but it's just more family. But I guess it's like making like a new Instagram or something, but that still feels, I don't know.
It would have to be redefined because we want it to feel more like real connection. And
Yeah.
real connection, I understand it's going to be hard through technology, but
Yeah.
I do think it's possible, if as long as you're being authentically yourself and you're not doing, like, you're not posting things because you feel pressure to, or
Hmm.
you feel like, I don't know, like you have to continue to do that for any kind of reason. I know you have to do it just because it feels right or fun, or you want to share with those you love, and you just want them to be up to date with what you've been doing,
Yeah.
not to brag, not to be the most popular, not to get the most followers, not for any of those reasons, but simply just to connect with each other. And that would be the best kind of social media. Yeah, be like Instagram redefined completely.
Yeah, I would love that, honestly, because at this point, the thing is that my Instagram feels like so tainted, even though I have spent years like curating it, making
Yeah.
sure that I remove like any pages that no longer align with me. I will unfollow. That's fine. And I've been very intentional about that. And I feel like no matter what, I feel like it just doesn't learn. The algorithm on in Instagram, it refuses to learn what I actually like want, which is why TikTok is like better to me when it comes
Mm.
to finding things I actually want to see. Um, yeah, but it feels like Instagram, it just refuses to learn. Like, unless what you're interested in is plastic surgery and
Yeah.
the fillers and the makeup and being the most perfect
Fake person.
person, yeah, like unless that's what you're interested in, oh yeah, they got that for you. They got it forever. But yeah, when I go on my explore part of
Mm-hmm.
Instagram, I have taken a screenshot. It's literally just before and afters of people getting fillers, before and after of surgeries and facelifts and BBLs and all this stuff of surgery and alterations. And it's like, do what you want, like if that makes you feel better and if that's what you want to do, all the power to you, good. But I have never interacted with that stuff and I am not interested in that stuff. So I just don't understand why that's like part of it. And like it feels so icky to me. Like because it makes me think like, what about all the young girls that are in here?
Mm.
Are their explore page looking like this? Like, oh, every time you see a little line, oh, you better go to the doctor to fix that. And I don't know, it's just feels wrong.
Yeah, it is, because they're advertising and like purposely putting these things for us to see. And that's the thing about social media, is very influential, especially now that it's become a place that people spend all their time in. If you're That's your environment is going to influence you. And if that's what you're seeing and constantly your feed is showing you this, how could you not go in that direction?
Yeah.
So you have to be very intentional, very like have a strong will and backbone to not have that sway you in any kind of way, because it's subliminally and unconsciously putting stuff in your head, constantly seeing things. So yeah, we're very mindful about our social media usage.
Yes,
Hmm.
definitely. I mean, we've been using the screen time feature for
Yeah.
years at this point. Originally, we used to lock each other
Yeah.
out. We knew each other's passwords, so that way it's like once you ran out of screen time, you couldn't unlock it. Only the other one like could unlock it for you. And that's how we started. And I feel like that's just been a journey and sort of like a never-ending struggle for me that I'll put on my screen time limits, and then I will follow them and I will respect them, and then I'll get to a point where because now I have my own password, so I'll unlock myself, and then I'll unlock myself and unlock myself until the point that it's like, okay, I'm obviously not respecting this password. So then my solution usually is like, it's time to delete the app off my phone until I reset. And that's
Hmm.
usually like how I go about it. So it's like once
Yeah.
I've completely stopped respecting the screen time, okay, I will delete the app and start again.
Yeah. Yeah, I basically do similar because I like to keep myself in check. I always check like the screen time usage and like
Yeah.
where is it going so that I can see exactly like what am I spending the most time on? Is this like hindering me or is this
Yeah.
helping me? So that feature, those tools are very beneficial to use them. Like the
Yeah, but
screen time limit, you have
you
to
have to
respect them.
respect them. If you don't
Yeah,
respect it and you're
it's
just
like what's the
constantly
point?
unlocking yourself, might as well take that password off. There's no
Yeah.
point. There's no point. Um, but yeah, I think a good idea. It's like if you're trying to get your screen time under control and that's something you really want to do, it's having someone that you trust basically have the password for your screen time.
Hmm.
So that way you can't unlock yourself. I feel like that definitely worked for us in the beginning for sure.
Yeah. And I just like to stay a little disconnected from the social media because I know it gives me anxiety.
Yeah.
So I have to be conscious and intentional about staying away. Like I go in so that I can interact with the people I want to interact with, and then I go about my business. And I know that I have to get back out into
Mm-hmm.
the real world because I know if I let myself, to me, when I scroll for too long, I just don't like that I'm not being productive. Like I'm not spending my time in any kind of productive way. And then the
Yeah.
hours are just going by and I'm like, well, I just scrolled for 2 hours. Like that's really not good. And I don't feel good about that. So that's why I do really like the feature of like being able to limit your time. It's just very important to respect that. I've been doing good.
Yeah.
I've been doing all right with social media stuff lately. I
Yeah.
haven't been feeling too called to it. So it hasn't been too hard to stay away.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay, so I never used to get anxiety when it came to social media. Like I did not feel anxious towards social media at all. Like it was fun, it was cool. I got to express myself, sort of thing. Just share like little photos with my family and my friends. Like I didn't feel that anxiousness when the feed was set up so you would get to the end. You would go in for the day, see what your friends and your family have posted, and it would get to a part that it's like, okay, you saw everything. That is all. And I feel like I never felt anxiety back then. Like that felt right.
mhm.
Until then, all of a sudden they switched it until it's like, oh no, now you can scroll unlimited forever, like, and it'll never stop. And then that would give me that feeling of like, going from like it having an end, like okay, you saw all the pictures that your friends
Mhm.
and your family and whatever whoever you're following posted today or whatever, it went from that to like now you can just scroll forever. And I feel like that's when my anxiety towards social media started, because it just feels like a never ending pit or something,
Yeah.
that if you don't get yourself out, you can just continue being
Yeah.
stuck in there. And then that's when it got scary, and that's when it got like anxiety inducing, and I hated that.
My anxiety really was triggered with filters
Oh,
because
filters,
when filters
yes.
first started coming out, I loved them. I was like,
Oh
these
my
are so
god.
fun. They're so cute. And at first, I felt so harmless. And then,
Well, because at first they were like a cute dog
yeah,
with like a tongue sticking out, or like big eyes. Like
yeah,
I don't know,
yeah, it seemed to like, oh, it's nothing. It's just a filter.
but very quickly.
Yeah, very quickly. It became like something that people just had to have on. And when I noticed it in myself, that's when I
Yeah.
started noticing in others. And it became so like apparent and it scared me. And
Mm-hmm.
that's, I started getting a lot of anxiety because I didn't want to take pictures or videos because I couldn't stand not having a filter. And that was my first thing with social media that immediately put me on high alert. I was like, oh no. As soon as filters dropped and they started like affecting me, and I noticed, and I'm so glad that I did notice that. Like, yeah, it I don't know how long it was until I did realize, but yeah, it did happen.
Yeah, I mean, I remember in like 2017, we were being very intentional about sending each other pictures with
Oh
no
yeah.
filter and no makeup or nothing on, to kind of just to each other, but we were kind of training ourselves to remember like this is what our face looks like, and we don't want that to become skewed, because
Mm-hmm.
that's the thing that we immediately became aware that if you continue to use those filters, you are going to have some type of body dysmorphia. If every time you're
Mm-hmm.
looking at yourself, you're putting all this like fake perfection on, and then
Mm-hmm.
when you see yourself somewhere else, that's obviously not translating. And I felt like I didn't want to hate my face. And I felt like if I did continue down the path of like actually using filters, even if it
Mm-hmm.
was just a cutesy thing that
Mm-hmm.
felt fun, it doesn't matter. I understood that in the long run, that was going to end up with me hating my face, which then ends up with you wanting injections and fillers. And like I said, I'm not shaming anyone that wants any of that. Like, that's okay. Like, if that, you do you. But
Mm-hmm.
I feel like for me, I do want to try my best to age naturally, and I would like to not have to have any sort of procedure. I'm not saying that I won't, because I can't speak for a future version of myself.
Mm-hmm.
I can't make decisions for her. I don't know what she's going to feel like, if she's going to have a completely different face than mine and just be in a completely different place in life. So I'm not going to speak for that, but I'm saying as of right now and how I've been in the past, my story has been that I want to try to stay as natural as possible. Also because it's cheaper and easier.
Yeah. Plus, it would just be so nice to just age and embrace it because that's what happens. That's life. We
Yes.
all age. That's actually a blessing. Some people don't even get to because unfortunate things happen. So, yeah, I would love for not just us, for anyone, everyone out there to love themselves and embrace themselves and just allow aging to happen
Yeah.
because it's what's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's definitely a struggle, I feel like, to stay grounded
Yeah.
and true to our values when we're just getting constantly bombarded with the opposite of like, you need this, you need that, you're not perfect, try to be perfect, do this. But I feel like at the end of the day, everyone is just looking the same. And like, I watch these videos of like the 90s like music videos, and it feels like everyone has very distinct faces. And now I feel like nowadays on social media, like a lot of times I'm like, wait, what do you mean that that's not this other person? What is going on? Like people's faces are all looking the same because everyone is getting the same exact procedures.
For real. And it's not helping that the algorithm like is showing the same thing to people. So
Yeah.
they're showing like this is the standard of beauty. So
Mm-hmm.
then everyone is trying to chase that same look instead of just being themselves and embracing that. So yeah, actually I think that the algorithm is killing the originality and
Yeah.
individualism and being unique because if you're seeing the same face basically over and over again in a different body, you're gonna start questioning like, well, am I beautiful? Do I fit in these standards? And don't do that. Don't question your own worth. Just allow yourself to be, love yourself, and spend time off of social media. That's so important.
Yes, for sure. I feel like it's just important to surround yourselves also with people who share the same values as you.
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah, like us and anyone that we try to associate ourselves with, like this is usually our mindset, and we want to stay true to ourselves. And I feel like that's the most important thing.
Yeah, like clean up your social media. It's not, you're not being selfish if you unfollow people that no longer align with your values. It's not
Yeah.
selfish. I don't care if you knew them forever. If they no longer aligns with you, you have to do what you have to do. You have to clean up your social media because it is influencing your mindset and your behaviors and how you express yourself. So if you're gonna have a curated list, it's better be a good one. Like it has to be good.
Yes, because just like they say that you are a combination of the five people that you spend the most
Mm-hmm.
time with, I feel like now we also need to add to the fact that you're also a combination of whatever media you're
Mm-hmm.
consuming. And I feel like that's very important for people to understand that that's basically, if you're watching something constantly and that's just all you're watching, like that's just what you're going to reflect. That's
Mm-hmm.
just, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just social media is meant to be influential. It's meant
Yeah.
to be that kind of impactful to people, and you have to have way more awareness than it. You have to be on it so that it doesn't sway you in any which way you don't want to be going
Yeah.
because we interact with it so much and it's everywhere and it's like the first thing that we do and it's well so often and so many people. I've been guilty of that. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's just practicing a lot of mindfulness towards social media about what you want to post, who you want to share, like who are you following, all of that.
Yeah, I feel like that is the best thing you can do is practice social media hygiene.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of keep everything aligned with your values, keep everything, I don't know, making sure that it all makes sense to what you truly believe, and not getting caught up in the trends or
Yeah.
what's popular or what is everyone doing, because that isn't always the best thing for you, even if you think that you have to do what everyone else is.
And you just mentioned how sometimes we check social media to see like what other people are doing. Why do we care? Why do people care? Stop caring so much what other people are doing.
Yeah.
Just start focusing on what you need to be doing. What are you getting done? Because a lot of the times people are posting their highlights, like we already
Yeah.
mentioned. So it's not really a true view of what's actually happening in their lives. Therefore, why are we really like following all that hard? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, they're showing you something very curated.
yes,
At the end of the day, like you can't compare yourself to someone who is curating everything.
no. So even though you try to follow, like, oh yeah, I'm just trying to see what they're up to, like, it doesn't matter. You need to like instead focus on yourself because it's very questionable why we keep going to social media to go check on other people. Like I get it, there's our loved ones. Go to that. Go specifically to them. But we know that there's a lot of people there that we follow that we don't know that are just celebrities or people that are just have a lot of followers. It's like, what are we doing? What are you gaining from this? What value are you gaining? If you're gaining something fantastic, if it's just draining you and making you compare your life to them and making you feel bad, then no, just unfollow. Don't do that to yourself.
Yeah.
Because we've done that and that's how we've been able to learn from it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and it's been a journey and it still is, and we
Mm-hmm.
continue because as social media continues to change and evolve. And yeah, now with AI, that's a whole nother topic and a whole nother video. Yeah, but I feel like it's just important to just stay true to yourselves, true to your values, and
Mm-hmm.
really be discerning when you're on social media, because things aren't always what they seem.
Exactly. You want to learn how to use social media so it doesn't use you.
Yes, and
Mm-hmm.
we always have to keep it in the back of our mind that these things are engineered to be addictive. If you are addicted, do not feel bad or
Mm-mm.
don't shame yourself.
Nope.
I feel like this is literally the point of it. And if you are realizing that it is a problem and you want to work on it, like that's great. That's a great step. But if you haven't ever even thought about this and now you're thinking of it and you go and start tracking your screen time and it's out of control, like remember, don't shame yourself, because all of this is done like this on purpose. It's just now means that you're aware of it and you need to just take the steps to be more mindful about your
Mm-hmm.
usage, because we never say, oh no, like I'm not going to use social media at all ever. Like
Mm-hmm.
no, because there are people that we love on there. There
Mm-hmm.
are things that we like to share. There are things that we like to see. But I feel like it's just about being more intentional.
Exactly. So we're not telling you to quit it. Just be intentional with
Yeah.
how you're using it. Use it as a tool, not as a place that you're in 24/7, constantly sharing everything. No, be intentional. It's very important. Oh no, I was just gonna say, and get outside.
Yeah, well, that goes good, like that goes well into what I was going to say, that I feel like the problem is that we've lost what they call third spaces, so places where people can go without having to pay money. And I feel like third spaces are being replaced by just being on your phone and on social media, and people think
Mm-hmm.
like, oh yeah, like you're being social, when I don't think that our physical bodies register that as being social. Like I feel like we need to be more social in person. And I
Mm-hmm.
know that it's not easy. I know that it's not, because I'm also like I also need to get more like outside. But I feel like it's all by design. They have everyone trapped inside. Everybody's just looking at screens, and then we're not connecting with each other in a real way, which is like
Mm-hmm.
what I want. That's all I want. Like I want to be able to meet and connect with people who are like-minded and share my values. And I don't know, because I feel like loving the people that I love is actually like one of the greatest joys of my life. It's just
Mm-hmm.
getting to interact and love on the people that are close to me. And I just wish that that circle could be expanded to more people, but I just feel like it's so hard to find the people because we're all stuck on our screens.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, we
Yeah.
do on a day-to-day basis spend a lot of time on our screens because it's
Yeah.
tough not to.
Yeah, so it's hard to meet people, I feel like, in person. I'm not saying it's impossible, it's just that you have to be, again, very intentional
Mm-hmm.
about it, which is going to be the theme of most things. It's like if you
Yeah.
want to make it happen, well, you're going to have to be very intentional, because it's not just going to happen for free.
Yeah, no, it's really not.
But yeah, I think
Hmm.
that this has been a really good conversation, and I've had a good
Yeah.
time here discussing, social media with you guys. And I hope that you guys enjoyed. And if you guys have any feedback or anything you guys want to share, share it in the
Hmm.
comments. We will be reading comments in future episodes, so just comment away, and then hopefully we'll give you a little shout out.
Yeah, that sounds good. Share your thoughts with us.
Yeah, so thank you so much for being here with us today. I mean, I think that the conclusion of this is to just be intentional with your social media usage,
Hmm.
and always stay true to your values. Remember what's important and get outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
Well,
guys. Well,
have a good one. See you next time.
bye.